Hey, excuse me. The beautiful woman in front of me was calling desperately to the businessman next to her. Right now, she was in a state of emergency. Due to an unexpected accident, her skirt had flipped up significantly. From my angle, I could even see her underwear. Excuse me. I pushed through the crowd and finally reached her, extending a helping hand to her flushed face. Oh, thank you. Could you please tell me your name? This incident brought the beautiful woman closer to me. No one else, just you, she said, reaching out her hand to my knee. Whoa, what are you doing up there? Seeing my father on the roof, I shouted loud enough for the whole neighborhood to hear. My name is Brown Daniel, 28 years old. I work at a small IT company. Oh, Daniel, welcome back. We had a leak, so I was just doing some repairs. But doing it past 8 p.m. is dangerous. Get down, get down. I told my easygoing dad I'd handle the repairs on my day off and helped him off the roof. When we got inside, a chaotic scene greeted us. Welcome back, Daniel. Mom. There was my mom, mopping the soaking wet floor in the kitchen. Next to her were pots and basins filled with rainwater. With a sigh, I took off my jacket and rolled up my sleeves. Dad, take care of things here. I'll fix the roof. To be honest, our family is very poor. We live in a small, run-down old house. And the three of us fix things ourselves when they break. For various reasons, my parents had been living this way since before I was born. So, I'm pretty handy with roof and wall repairs. Thanks, Daniel. You must be hungry, right? Sorry about that. Having you do this after work. Have some of Dad's croquettes as a thank you. When I came back after patching the hole in the roof, Mom brought me dinner and a cold tea. Dad offered me some of the already scarce side dishes from his plate. It's fine. It's just the usual. You're making a big deal out of it. Helping each other out is natural for family. Even though they taught me that, they still go out of their way for me. We never had much money, but my parents always gave me plenty of love. That's how I grew up, and now I live a modestly happy life despite being poor. So, Daniel, how's work? Isn't it tough, doing all that complicated stuff? System engineer, yeah, it's okay, I guess. When you say okay, it usually means really tough, right? Just like always. Yeah, sorry, making you worry because of us. Sorry, Daniel. It's a problem that the conversation always drifts in that direction if I'm not careful. Sure, there have been plenty of times when I thought it'd be easier with money. For example, I might have been able to study in college. So, which college did you graduate from? Well, just high school. Are you sure that's okay? This is what I often hear when I meet new clients. They always wonder if it's safe to entrust work to someone who didn't even go to trade school, let alone college. And it's written all over their faces today too. Yes, I'm a system engineer with only a high school diploma. I taught myself programming while working, started as a temp programmer, and eventually got hired full-time at my current company. Now, I not only develop systems but also discuss necessary features with clients and give design instructions to programmers. Being trusted with this level of responsibility means my efforts have been recognized. I thought you might say that. I've prepared some preliminary ideas for the new system you requested. What? I placed the file I brought on the table with a thud, and the client's expression changed. When they murmured, just from yesterday to today, I smiled brightly. I'll do my best to earn your trust. Oh, okay. I'm counting on you, Daniel. Yes. I now possess the skills to convince people who initially looked down on me for just having a high school diploma. That confidence makes me think, this life isn't so bad. Even during moments when I wonder what if I had the money to go to college. This thought supports me in my work, along with a secret joy I have. Every morning on my commute, there's a woman who boards the train at one of the stops. She's so beautiful today, as always. I can't take my eyes off her in the crowded car. with long hair tied back and frameless glasses. Her appearance might seem plain at first glance, but she has a strong presence, possibly due to her perfectly straight posture. She always wears a clean white shirt and a knee-length skirt that flares out gently. A serene and elegant woman whose name I don't even know. I first saw her about 3 months ago, always ending up in the same car by some strange coincidence. And from that moment, I couldn't see anyone else. In other words, it was love at first sight. She seems very smart, but I wonder where she works. What kind of book is she always reading? I've never heard her voice, but what does it sound like? Even though I don't know her name, my thoughts about her grow stronger each day. As usual, she leans against the door, eyes fixed on her paperback book. She seems very focused, but when the doors open, she lifts her head and moves to avoid blocking other passengers. That's another charming aspect of her. However, today, the number of passengers was unusually high. When the announcement, "Doors are opening," came on, she lifted her head and started moving toward the center of the car, and right after that, no. She let out a small scream as she was instantly swallowed by the wave of people boarding the train. Oh. Instinctively, I moved. I stood up from my seat, straining my eyes to find her. Then, "No, excuse me, just a moment." Following her faint voice, I found her. She was in the packed car, unable to move, twisting her body with a troubled expression. The reason was her white skirt. It was caught on a businessman's commuting bag, lifted up significantly. And by the time I noticed, I could even see a hint of her blue underwear peeking through. "Excuse me," she called out softly, so other passengers wouldn't hear. But it seemed the businessman didn't hear her either. She reached out to free her skirt, but she couldn't move at all. "Stop!" Embarrassed and panicked, her face turned red as she squeezed her eyes shut. Then, I finally arrived, having forced my way through the crowd. "Excuse me," I whispered quietly beside her and reached forward. I managed to free her skirt from the bag this way. "Oh!" I pulled her arm and guided her to a slightly open space near the door. "Oh, thank you. You saved me." No. Catching her breath, she looked up. But, despite her gratitude, I was focused on something else. The space was so tight that I was almost pressed against my crush. Seeing her up close, she was even more beautiful, actually, way too close. "Oh, this is my stop. See you." Just then, the doors opened at my company station. Taking advantage of the situation, I half panicked and ran away. "Oh, are you the one from yesterday?" The next morning, at the usual time, I was on the train. To my surprise, she spoke to me. "Thank you again for yesterday. My name is Anderson Linda." Not only did I finally learn her name, "Could I ask for your name too?" She gave me a bright, dazzling smile as well. "Good morning, Daniel. We're together again today." Over about a month since that encounter, we grew much closer. When Linda gets on the car I'm in, she always greets me with a smile and sits next to me. "Good morning, Linda. The novel you lent me yesterday was amazing. I read it all in one go after overtime." At first, I was always nervous, but I started to feel more relaxed talking to her. I admired not just her appearance, but also her intelligence and gentle, kind personality. My feelings for her grew even stronger. "Daniel, we have the same taste in books. I'm so happy." "What?" Yes. How about we go out on a day off together sometime?" "What?" "I was thinking last night that it would be really fun to go bookstore hopping with you, Daniel. I was thinking about you." Linda is an elite graduate of a prestigious women's university and currently works as the CEO's secretary at a major company. Knowing her background made me feel a bit sad, realizing we come from different worlds. But she had been thinking about me too, and she wanted to see me on our days off. I was overwhelmed with joy and surprise. "I'd love to. Let's go, definitely." Really then? That's a promise between you and me. I will never forget the smile on her face when she said that. Because that promise was never fulfilled. What are you trying to do? That morning, I spotted Linda boarding the train again. I greeted her as usual, but instead of a smile, I received a cold glare. What? I'm very grateful for your help before, but after doing something like that, how can you calmly say good morning? Linda, what do you mean by something like that? Stop calling me that. This isn't the office, so let me be clear. She spoke calmly, but there was emotion in her words. The changed Linda told me, your actions are those of a stalker. A stalker? If you continue to follow me in private, I will report you to the CEO. Wait a minute. What do you mean by the company and CEO? I don't understand. Are you saying I did something to you? I see. So you're going to act like that. Her glare became even colder. That look was unmistakably one of contempt. As she moved to another car, she gave me one last look. Put your hand on your heart and think hard about last night. What? Last night, I was at home fixing the floor with my parents because it had collapsed. Could that be why she hates me? Confused, I stood there, dumbfounded, under the stares of other passengers. Daniel, are you really okay? You look even worse than yesterday. What happened? Just a little, but I'll be fine. I'm off. I was so deeply depressed that even my parents were worried. Since then, Linda must have changed her commute time because I never saw her on the train again. I realized only after not seeing her smile how much her presence energized me. I want to meet her one more time, at least to clear up this misunderstanding. All I had left was the business card she gave me when we introduced ourselves. Williams Pharmaceuticals, a prestigious company still growing steadily. As the CEO's secretary, Linda was indeed an unattainable dream for me. The disappointment was huge because I had dared to hope a little. Maybe Linda also had feelings for me. I gently put the business card I couldn't throw away into my chest pocket. I boarded the train again today to get to work. This place, filled with both sweet and bitter memories, made me feel conflicted every time I rode it. But at that moment, I didn't know yet. I didn't know that I would have an unexpected chance to meet her again. Daniel, would you like to take on this project? My boss made this suggestion one day at work. I glanced over the project summary and then, wait, is this client? That's right. This is a big opportunity for us. I'm counting on you, Daniel. I was so shocked that I could barely hear my boss's words. The application was set to be released with features to manage medication doses and schedules and prevent missed doses. The company that requested this development was Williams Pharmaceuticals, where Linda works. This time, it's a competitive bid. They've approached several companies besides us and will choose the best proposal. Are you listening, Daniel? Yes, sorry. We're counting on you. You're quick at your job, so put together some design ideas soon. Strike while the iron is hot. Wait, where am I supposed to go? Where do you think to present at Williams Pharmaceuticals? I was speechless but filled with a faint hope. If I went to Williams Pharmaceuticals, I might see Linda. I could clear up the misunderstanding and maybe we could commute together again. This time I would. The design is finished. I'm going to Williams Pharmaceuticals. Really, you are fast, Daniel. Wait, it hasn't even been a week. That's way too fast. I prepared for the presentation at lightning speed, surprising even my boss. I couldn't wait to see Linda. That was all I had in mind. But waiting for me at Williams Pharmaceuticals was someone other than her. And it was a meeting that shocked me far more. What? Just now in the hallway? Why from outside? Doppelganger. As I told the receptionist about my appointment, the entrance suddenly became noisy. The receptionist and the passing employees of Williams Pharmaceuticals all stared at me intently. Excuse me, you must be Daniel. I'll guide you to the meeting room. Thank you. Feeling uneasy, I was led inside. When I stepped into the meeting room for the presentation, I saw the reason for the commotion. What? Why is there a mirror here? For a moment, I genuinely thought that. In the center of the meeting room, arms crossed, waiting for me was me. No, to be precise, it was a man with a face identical to mine standing right in front of me. So, you're the one? Well, I guess this is it. What? The man stared at me up and down, muttering strange things under his breath. The employees who had been waiting with him were looking back and forth between our faces in astonishment. One of the older employees stood up abruptly. That's rude, Tom. This person has come a long way to see us. A long way, considering his position. It's only natural. He wants the job, so the least we can do is listen to him. Tom. Despite being scolded by the much older employee, the man called Tom remained unfazed. He pointed to an empty seat. Well, sit down. Let's hear why you're here. Self-proclaimed high school graduate system engineer. What? How does he even know my education background? The man with an identical face smirked confidently. He was Williams Tom, the son of the company's president and the future president himself. Man, making me deal with a high school graduate as part of my training to become president. What is Dad thinking? Right, Steve. I'm very sorry, Tom. Let's continue. As I started the presentation for the new app, Tom kept interrupting, belittling me as a high school graduate and low-educated. Each time, the older employer next to him, probably his supervisor, Steve, apologized profusely. Even though Steve tried to correct him, Tom didn't change his attitude. He lounged in his chair, crossed his legs, and jeered, disrupting the presentation, so the atmosphere in the meeting room quickly became tense. Then, hey, from what I've been hearing, all your ideas are pretty standard. An alarm to remind users to take their meds, a function to record their health status. These are features that existing apps already have. Steve and the other employees had to nod in agreement. My position suddenly weakened. You wanted to showcase your speed, but stealing ideas from other companies. High school graduates have no pride, just doing enough to avoid getting fired. Really, you've wasted our precious time. From now on, we should investigate who we're meeting and reject anyone below a high school graduate. I'll propose this to Dad right away. Tom stood up from his chair with a "Here we go" look on his face. That's when it happened. A notification sound went off from someone's cell phone. Who is it? You're supposed to mute notifications during work, Steve said, frowning and looking around at the employees. I timidly raised my hand. Sorry, it seems to be mine. I had forgotten to take my medication. As I said this, I pulled my smartphone and a bottle of Williams Pharmaceuticals gastrointestinal medicine from my pocket. The atmosphere in the meeting room suddenly changed. Could it be the app is already finished? Steve asked hesitantly. I laughed and said, Of course not. It's been less than a week since we received your request. It's far from complete. It's just a prototype with a basic alarm function. Still, Steve was amazed at how quickly it was done, and the other employees began to stir. It's common knowledge that even a simple app requires at least a month of development. Tom was the only one who scoffed. If you copy code from existing apps, it can be done overnight. Ridiculous. Sorry for the interruption. I'll mute the notifications now. As I operated my smartphone, the notification sound kept going off. So, I placed the gastrointestinal medicine I had on the table and took a picture using the camera function. The notification sound immediately stopped. Daniel, what are you? This is the unique idea not found in existing apps. Unless you take a second photo of the pre-registered medication after taking it, the reminder alarm won't stop. What? And even if you mute the alarm during work, it automatically turns on when it's time to take the medication. It's a bit cumbersome and annoying, but Nothing is more important than taking medication on time." With that statement, the expressions of Steve and the others changed significantly. "Indeed, you understand well. Your presentation is very convincing. You've got us." Too many innovative features can make it difficult for the middle-aged and older main target audience to use. You're right. And the fact that the key alarm function is already completed. This innovative idea and the technology to make it happen. It's impressive, isn't it? Steve and the others nodded in agreement. But there was one dissenting voice. "You've all been fooled by this high school graduate's trick. I object. We can't pay for this. The final decision will be made after we receive proposals from other companies. I think it's too early to jump to conclusions, Tom." Steve's firm statement left Tom speechless. The rest of the meeting proceeded with very positive reactions, and I felt a strong sense of accomplishment as the presentation ended successfully. There was just one mystery left: the future president who looks exactly like me. As I left the meeting room, I ran into a woman who dropped the files she was carrying. I picked them up and handed them back to her. "Long time no see, Linda." "Why, who are you really?" And then Linda revealed the truth that would unlock the mystery. "I'm really sorry, I misunderstood. So, the stalker wasn't me, but I mistakenly thought Tom was using a fake name to wait for me every morning." The truth of the matter was this. It started the day before the last time we met on the train. Tom, who had been working at an affiliated company, joined Williams Pharmaceuticals to begin his formal training as the successor. The president personally asked Linda, his secretary, to support his inexperienced son. The moment she saw Tom, she was shocked. Of course, it was because I was standing next to the president. Though the name and demeanor were different, the voice and appearance were exactly like Daniel's. I was so confused, I thought. Has this person been messing with me all along? Because of that suspicion, Linda formed a poor impression of Tom, whom she believed to be me. Moreover, "So, you're going to be my secretary? Well, you look acceptable, kind of plain though." Tom made this terrible comment during their first meeting. "My apartment is a mess right now. If you're my secretary, clean it up. It's an order from the future president." He even tried to force her into his car, but she managed to escape, leading to her calling me a stalker. "I'm so sorry. I should have realized it was odd. How could I mistake Tom for Daniel?" Seeing Linda tear up behind her glasses, I quickly shook my head. After going through something like that, it's natural you wouldn't want to see my face. Besides, we do look exactly the same. "Thank you, Daniel. You are so kind, even to someone like me." She gently removed her glasses and wiped the tears from the corners of her eyes with her fingers. Her gesture and the smile she gave made my heart skip a beat, and I couldn't take my eyes off her. She really is beautiful. And realizing her mistake, she sincerely apologized. I still like Linda very much. But it's strange how two people who look so alike could meet in the same place. It's quite complicated, but do we really look that similar? Yes, very much. Like twins. That word struck a chord with me. When I got home, I jokingly asked my parents, "Do I have a twin brother or something?" Their response revealed a shocking truth I had never known in my 28 years. "We're sorry for keeping it from you all this time." My mother broke down, covering her face. "It wasn't just your mother. I agreed to it too, to raise you, Daniel." My father comforted my mother, who was now sobbing, and apologized as well. I had been in shock all day, but now I asked calmly, "So, I have a twin brother, and we're identical. So, you've met him. I never thought you'd end up working with Williams Pharmaceuticals too." "What do you mean, Dad?" "Well, my father explained that my parents had once worked with Tom's father, the president of Williams Pharmaceuticals. They ran a small factory making paper packaging even before I was born. Their major client back then was Williams Pharmaceuticals, a long-established major company. The factory was always in the red, and would have gone bankrupt without that business. So the president was a benefactor to my parents. We wanted to raise both of you ourselves, but we just didn't have the money. When the president and his wife asked us, we thought they would be able to provide a good life. The president and his wife couldn't have children despite undergoing fertility treatments. Struggling with finances and poverty, my parents were trying to raise twins when the president and his wife asked to adopt one of us. After much deliberation, my parents decided, "When you smiled at us, Daniel, we knew we had to keep you, so we gave your brother to the president and his wife." "I'm sorry, Daniel. We just couldn't bring ourselves to tell you." My parents, both in tears, hugged me tightly from both sides. As the truth sank in, I felt a mix of emotions. I couldn't help but wonder, did my brother, who went to live with the president and his wife, have a happy life? Later, I was called to Williams Pharmaceuticals. President Tom personally requested additional information about the app. "I heard about the recent events. You're Daniel. I'm glad to finally meet you, Daniel." It was as if he was meeting a relative for the first time. The stout president with a white beard warmly welcomed me with a smile. "I heard you proposed a wonderful app." Steve and the others were very impressed, so I wanted to see the final product myself. "You're very talented." "Thank you, but I can't take all the credit." "What do you mean?" "The idea came from discussions with my colleagues, the senior engineers who developed existing apps, and from watching my father, who often forgets to take his medicine." "Okay." The president's smile suddenly faded. Did I say something to upset him? Internally, I felt a bit anxious. But the next moment, the president shouted in a firm voice, "That's admirable." "What?" "You were raised so well, truly a testament to your parents. You must have received all their love." "Well, yes, we didn't have much money, but there was plenty of love." "I'm sorry. To protect this company, I had to switch to a factory that could produce more cheaply and in larger quantities, even knowing it would cause you hardship. I apologize." "Yes." But the president had introduced another client to my parents. I had heard that from them. Even so, it couldn't solve the factory's financial issues. But that's the kind of person President Tom was. That's why my parents could decide to entrust my brother to him. Tom, who looks nothing like his adoptive father. I wish my son would learn from you. Somehow, I went wrong in raising him. He's become so twisted, and the employees have a very low opinion of him. I'm not sure if I should entrust the company to him. I see. But still. After that, President Tom was reluctant to let me go. When I finally left his office, I found Tom leaning against the hallway wall, smirking. "Hey, brother. Sorry, I was the one adopted." "What do you mean, Tom?" "Just call me Tom. No need for formalities, considering how pitiful you are. At least that much." "Pitiful?" "Well." Tom laughed as he spoke. "Poor brother. Left in a poor family, couldn't even go to trade school. Now most of your meager salary is sucked up by your incompetent parents." "What did you just say?" "In contrast, I was saved. Adopted by a wealthy family, attended a prestigious private university, and even studied abroad in America. Truly. Unlike you, I'm happy," Tom said, almost spitting the words out. To my eyes, he didn't look happy at all. "Really?" "What?" "If you're truly happy, our parents would be glad to hear it." At that moment, Tom's smile vanished, and he glared at me sharply. "Must be nice, being raised carefree by easygoing parents. You've never felt any pressure, unlike me." "What? I'm just an adopted son, with no blood ties. When he was young, the president and his wife told him he was adopted. From then on, they imposed strict education on him, with studies and extracurricular activities. They told him that as someone who would one day lead many people, he couldn't afford to be lenient. He was forced to excel in everything. Even though he worked hard and achieved excellent grades, They never praised him. Because he wasn't their blood, they could treat him coldly without guilt, because they didn't love him as their own. Tom started pouring out his resentment towards the president and his wife. After all, I'm just a figurehead. My father doesn't want to pass the company to an outsider. So he wants to hand it over to someone who's at least his legal son. But he plans to let veterans like Steve hold the real power. He knows I'm called a privileged idiot, but he never defends me. Enough. It was my voice that cut Tom off. I only realized after I had unconsciously shouted, "What the? You know you're privileged, so why do you keep pretending to be so twisted? Who do you think you are? Do you really believe the president and his wife see you as just an adopted son? Find out for yourself. And also, I am happy to have been raised by my parents. I started working after high school because I wanted to help them." Leaving those words, I walked away. Talking like you know everything. Damn it. Behind me, I heard the sound of a foot stomping. Daniel. Turning the corner in the hallway, I saw Linda standing there with a troubled expression. It seemed she had overheard our conversation. "Linda, Tom is still over there." "No." Linda shook her head quietly. And then, "Daniel, I'm here for you." "What?" "Well, are you free tonight?" Linda handed me a note with a serious, somewhat determined look on her face. "It's an invitation to a date." "What?" Later that night, after work ended around 8 p.m., I headed to the bar, which was relatively close to the company, as Linda had specified. Inside, Linda was already waiting. "Daniel?" She spotted me and gave a small wave with a smile. She must have gone home to change because instead of the neat office casual outfit I saw earlier, she was wearing a blue dress with bare arms. Seeing her in this new attire made my heart start pounding. "Sorry to keep you waiting. Why are you using formal language? It's like when we first met, strange Daniel." She laughed softly, and my face instantly flushed with heat. Meanwhile, Linda gently rubbed her arm, her skin as white and polished as a pearl. Maybe she was cold. "Here, if you'd like. Please take this." I quickly took off my jacket and offered it to her. I realized she might be cold waiting in the air-conditioned bar in such a light dress. Linda's eyes widened. I really was mistaken. "What?" "Mistaking you for Tom, I was. He helped me as if it were the most natural thing in the world. Even though I should have known Daniel like this," she said with a gentle smile, narrowing her eyes. My heart started pounding even harder. "Well, we're twins, so it's understandable, right?" "No. Now that I think about it, you're not alike at all. Now that I know your personalities, I see the differences clearly. Even if I had met you in a different order, I'm sure I would have liked you more." "Really? Wait, what?" "Because of Tom's personality, he ends up making enemies. It's a shame because he's very talented." "Linda, do you resent Tom?" "My parents were strict too, so I understand. I think he didn't have enough opportunities to feel loved. That's why he's not good with people, and can only assert himself in a forceful way." "Does that mean—" "I think he liked me." "What?" "It's surprising that, even though we're twins, we fell for the same person at first sight." I was reminded once again that Tom and I are truly blood-related brothers. Right now, I feel sorry for him. People call him privileged, but his talent is real, yet he doesn't get the chance to show it, nor does anyone try to understand him. That's true. Tom was able to absorb the content of the presentation, even while heckling me. If he hadn't studied existing medication management apps, he wouldn't have called my idea commonplace. Tom isn't just riding on his father's coattails. I know that too. But this weird feeling in my chest, I'm envious. What? For the first time, I'm envious of Tom. Because of work. He always gets to be with you, Linda, to be so understood by you. Daniel, I want you to know me better too. I want you to know about me. Her face turned bright red, and she covered her steaming cheeks with her hands. Daniel, you speak so directly about your feelings. It's a family trait, or rather, Linda, you should say it too earlier. As she pointed it out, my face suddenly felt hot. As we sat in silence, her white hand reached out and rested on my knee, breaking the stillness. Am I really okay for you? I don't have a prestigious background or education. When I asked, Linda gently placed her hand on mine and nodded. She then smiled, a soft smile like a blooming flower. I want you, Daniel, not anyone else. A rush of emotions I had never felt before surged through me. I wanted to say Linda, too, but the words wouldn't come out. We have plenty of time ahead of us. Her words felt like she had read my mind, and I nodded. It felt enough. Just being able to smile with her made this night perfect. 1 month later, the Williams Pharmaceuticals competition reached its final stage. We presented our prototype app to President Tom and the board members for them to evaluate its performance. The outcome of this presentation would determine whether my company secures the contract or not. In this short period, no other company has managed to create a prototype. The results are practically decided, so take it easy. The president's words, spoken in the conference room filled with board members, encouraged me as I was understanding